Hello everyone, again, and welcome back to the coverage of the World Rapid Championship. After 12 rounds, Magnus Carlsen is in sole lead with 9.5 points, and now he faces the last player to beat him in classical time control. Even though this is rapid, Shakhriyar Mamedyarov defeated him in 2018 Biel Chess Festival, where Mamedyarov had the white pieces and he defeated Carlsen's King's Indian defense. So let's see how Magnus will approach this now, as Magnus has white. So this is a game from round 13, let's check it out. We have knight to f3, Magnus goes for the reti opening, we have knight to f6, sorry about that. We have c4, e6, knight to c3, and d5, immediately striking in the center, d4, and now knight b to d7. We have c captures on d5, e captures on d5, and bishop to g5 now. Bishop to e7 and e3. So this is all fairly standard stuff. c6 and queen to c2 now. We have castles by Mamedyarov, bishop to d3, putting pressure on h7, and rook to e8 now. No need to do anything like h6, since if bishop captures, you can capture with the other knight. Also, h7 will be guarded. And here, castling is just the move that is being played most often. It is the main line, but Magnus goes bishop to f4. It's a much rarer move, and it is something Magnus will use to throw Mamedyarov off guard. So, knight back to f8 by Mamedyarov. Now the knight can come to g6 to kick away the bishop from f4. Also, you just defend the h7 pawn, so now the f6 knight can move. We have h3, making some room for the bishop on f4 if it's attacked, but here Mamedyarov challenges it with bishop to d6. Magnus trades, bishop captures, queen captures, and only now does Magnus castle. Castling queenside has also been played here. So castles, and now this knight finally comes to g6. And those are two very strong knights controlling a lot of squares here. We have rook a to b1 with ideas of starting the expansion on the queenside with b4 and a4, and bishop to d7 now. We have b4 by Magnus, and rook a to c8. So this is both of them are pretty much blitzing out these moves. This is all well known. Rook f to c1, and here queen back to e7. Probably after b5 is played, captures, the knight will not be attacking the queen here. So b5, and here we have a position that was reached in 1994 between Vasily Ivanchuk and Rafael Vaganian, where c5 was played and Chucky won that game. But here we have c captures on b5. And okay, bishop captures. This was all played before. Bishop captures, rook captures on b5. Now attacking the d5 pawn twice, although you cannot capture it since it's pinned. The rook is pinning the knight. And here there is one game where rook to c7 was played. But Mamedyarov plays a different move. Mamedyarov plays knight to e4. And it is as of move 19 that we have a completely new game. So a lot of theory known by these two gentlemen. Now, the thing is, you cannot capture the pawn here, because rook captures on c3 is coming. You cannot capture the pawn with the knight or the knight because you lose the queen. So those are the things you know. But feel free to pause the video and try to find the best move for Magnus, as knight to e4 was kind of a blunder by Mamedyarov. While I give you a couple of seconds. So, for those of you who found queen to b2, congratulations, it is the only move that gives white advantage. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, well, yes, it's queen to b2. So here, the problem is now b7 is under attack twice, as now the queen rook battery is threatening rook captures on b7. The d5 pawn is attacked twice, and there's no way to defend all of it. You can go b6 and allow rook captures on d5. That's one way to do it, but Mamedyarov decides to go knight back to d6. Defended the b7 pawn, but now Magnus just grabs the knight here. And here, Mamedyarov lost a lot of time trying to figure out his way after that knight to e4 maneuver. Magnus has 12 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock here, whereas Mamedyarov has only 6 minutes. And he's still being under pressure. The queen is under attack. We have rook captures on c1 with check, queen captures, and now getting the queen out of harm's way with queen to e6. And now rook to c5, preparing to bring the rook over to the 7th rank. We have rook to d8. Now, after the knight moves, we will have a double attack on the knight, so Magnus just moves it. Knight back to c3, and also the a2 pawn is now defended since the queen from e6 was attacking it. We have h6, taking away the g5 square from the knight, also giving the king some breathing room, and now queen to a3. attacking the a7 pawn. We have a6 by Mamedyarov, and now queen to a5. So really interesting how Magnus improves the position of the queen. Every move is a threat. Queen to e8, defending the rook, and now queen to b6. Just a wonderful square for the queen. We have king to h7, and now rook to d5 with a double attack on the knight. So what do you do here? You cannot move the knight because of rook captures here, just winning the rook. So you should play queen to e7. It's the only way for Mamedyarov to continue this struggle, although it's a very passive idea. Mamedyarov goes for the active idea, rook c8. He wants to trade this knight for this knight, and Magnus goes for it. We have rook captures on d6, rook captures on c3, and now queen captures on b7. Magnus grabs yet another pawn. We have rook to c1 check, king to h2, and now rook to c2. Mamedyarov will win back at least one of these pawns, or will he? Magnus played rook to d7. He went after the f7 pawn. We have king to g8, and here feel free to pause the video and try to find the winning move for Magnus while I give you a couple of seconds. So, for those of you who were able to do it, congratulations on spotting that white is up 2 pawns and that there are also a lot of back rank weaknesses for black. And for those of you who just want to enjoy the show, it's rook to c7. This is what Magnus played, and it was in this position that Shakhriyar Mamedyarov resigned the game. Incredible stuff, and it's incredible how first against Maxim Vachier-Lagrave almost getting that winning move, then against Levon again achieving a winning position, but then Levon wiggles out and then gifts Magnus a whole queen, and now Magnus just obliterates Mamedyarov in this miniature. There was just nothing to do there. Mamedyarov found a new move that was never played before, but it's also a move that loses a pawn and gives black a very difficult position, which is against Magnus unplayable. So here you resign, because if you capture either of the pawns, then just rook to c8 wins the queen. There's no way around this. And if you don't, if you exchange rooks, rook captures, queen captures, then you are Magnus is just up 2 pawns, and Mamedyarov knows that you will not be able to play this against Magnus. It's not just up 2 pawns. There's also the passed d pawn, which is starting to march up the board, and this is unplayable. So after rook to c7, Mamedyarov resigns, and this propels Magnus to 10.5 out of 13 points, still with immense lead, and it will be very interesting. So he has to lose like the next 2 games to severely cripple his performance, but since he didn't lose any games yet, he's in a really great spot to winning the World Rapid Championship 2019. So yeah, incredible stuff. Such a miniature, and remember, it's against the person who is last known to defeat Magnus Carlsen in 2018 in the Bill Chess Festival. Really impressive stuff, and as the title suggests, this is really the definition of effortless. So yeah, once again, I would like to thank Michael Carey, Pete Ponrobles, Victor Klein, David Groskind, and Predrag Zerdo for your contribution to my channel. Thank you a lot, I really appreciate it. As usual, you can check 2 of my previous videos here. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon, continuing the coverage of the World Rapid and Blitz Championship. Thank you all, I will see you soon, and have an excellent rest of your Saturday.